Welcome to the Geeks for the Win podcast, the podcast where we talk about our week as geeks. I'm your host, William, and I'm joined by my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
Alrighty, we're back. It's a
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. End of
It's already been
year.
a rough year. Rough end of the year, rough beginning.
It started the week before.
Yeah. For both of us, yeah. So, yeah. But
yeah, I got freaking COVID on Christmas. Like the night before Christmas, I'm like, I'm starting to get a cough. I'm starting to feel a little logy. This is bad. So I went to go take a test. I was negative. I was okay. I'll test again tomorrow because it may be just early right now. Tested Christmas morning. Oh, that line was solid.
that sucks. Yeah.
And my mom just had a liver transplant back at the end of October. So her immune system still isn't great, but also don't really want to give it to anybody. It's fucking COVID.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I get it. Especially on around Christmas.
I'm not gonna lie, I did think about it. I'm like, I could just not say anything. But no, I shouldn't do that. So, and honestly, it actually started a couple of days even before that, because my family was actually exchanging gifts and got a call from my grandma saying that her chest hurts. I was there in 2 minutes. You know, because she was kind of freaking out, and you know, she said the words, "My chest hurts." And then when I got there, she's like, "No, not quite my chest, but like my boobs." Like that's totally different. Those are not in the same location anymore. But the what as I was heading over, my mom did call 911, and so like the ambulance did show up. They did check her. She did not have a heart attack. There's two kinds of heart attacks. One that they can detect, like EMTs can detect. The other ones you gotta have a blood work for. So we took her to the ER. ER was packed. Like she was in a bed hooked up to like the heart monitor stuff in the hallway in the ER.
Oh yeah.
So, but eventually, you know, test got done. She did not have a heart attack. It was a panic attack.
That's a lot better.
It's better. Yes, it's a lot better.
It sucks from someone who has had panic attacks, but it's, yeah.
Yes. I'd rather be a panic attack than a heart attack, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm suspecting...
Apparently oh, go ahead.
I was expecting, you know, since the ER was so full, not even like the beds and stuff, but like the waiting room was also quite full. I think that's where I got COVID.
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff reported that's how hospitals are throughout the U.S. Like whether it's COVID or really bad flu, they're just crammed packed, and cases of flu and COVID and other respiratory, you know, infections are on the rise. So, you know, as much as we want to feel like COVID's no longer an issue, it still is.
Oh, yeah, it did.
You know,
it unfortunately it's not going to go away.
No. Yeah, I'm like, should I start wearing my mask again just to play it safe?
Well, last weekend I did go see my family because I didn't, you know, I only saw them, you know, the Saturday before Christmas. I didn't see them on Christmas or New Year's because I felt like shit all week long. Like it was it like my brains were coming out of my nose, and I woke up tired. Like I woke up like I didn't sleep at all. Like I've been up. Like my eyes were hurt. They were heavy, and I just kind of slept the entire fucking week.
That's the new COVID with the new side effects.
Yeah, that was
Which
that one was not fun. And I do have a slight cough. Not as bad as it was last time I got COVID, but and then I still wasn't feeling great last week. And then Monday, Tuesday this week, I called off work because I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. So I took two more days and just kind of rested. And I feel tons better after I did that.
that's good. And it's a shame because I remember like before then, last we had talked, you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have off, and hopefully we can play some games and stuff." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm down for that."
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh man, I wanted to play stuff. I'm like, but I just slept through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like we never play anything. Like,
Yeah, I know. I was like,
it's the darndest thing.
We're gonna start our Baldur's Gate playthrough. You know, like that was kind of my plan, and I was like, oh, that didn't happen at all.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
I know. I was like, oh, that's what I wanted to do, but I'm like, didn't happen at all.
Yeah, because I've been watching the voice actor of Astarion. He's been playing and he's been streaming and playing with someone else, and the co-op. And I'm like, that looks fun. Like, because
Yep.
they each control their character and a companion, and it's like, I could see us doing that.
I briefly played. This was 2 years ago, I think it was. I briefly played Divinity Original Sin 1 with Blue for a little while. And I kept almost killing Blue. Like I remember this one time we were like when it was like our first fight, like we were fighting there's a bunch of rats. And I accidentally shot like a firebolt and it hit a barrel of oil. And Blue was standing right next to the barrel of oil. So the barrel broke, the oil caught fire, and I caught Blue on fire. Like, I didn't mean to do that. It missed.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I don't think Blue was too happy with that, though.
Oh, yeah. I still need to finish my Baldur's Gate playthrough. I'm like pretty close.
I figured you would have by this point.
I just like kind of stopped. I got to the point where I was like I'm where am I at? I'm like real I've already beaten like the main or the three, the main three like baddies at the end.
Okay.
The shapeshifter chick, the one dude who's ruling who's controlling the city.
Mm-hmm.
And was Astarion's master.
Okay.
And so I think I think there's maybe one other thing I need to do there before I take that boat to go fight was it like the Elder Brain or something like that?
Okay, I didn't make it that.
The big boss person, whatever. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, as I'm watching the voice actor of Astarion do the playthrough, they're coming across things that I didn't come across, and I'm like, really? Because I spent a lot of time.
You did.
you know, trying to get in, but I don't know. They're coming across stuff I didn't. So it's like I'm just even more impressed that there's even that much more.
That there's more.
Yeah.
And then just
Anyways,
wait until they release the modding tools.
Oh,
And
that should be
people
interesting.
can add their own quests and, you know, do that kind of stuff.
They're still like supporting it because they just released a new patch. I haven't seen what or not patch, quick fix, hot fix, something like that. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, a hotfix.
Yeah.
Yesterday, looks like.
Was it yesterday? Okay, yeah. I knew it was this week. But yeah. Well, with all the time you had off, what were you doing besides feeling crummy and sick?
Well, I did do some things. Like I finally watched the Barbie movie.
Oh, okay.
That was, and I didn't expect it to be bad because of what people were saying about it. But it was better than I thought. And honestly, I have one of the fucking songs stuck in my head. And I saw it on TikTok beforehand, and it never didn't get stuck in my head then. But after I've seen the movie, the fucking Ken song is stuck in my head.
Have you seen the Pete Davidson parody of it he did on SNL?
No.
you should look that up. It's pretty funny.
I can imagine though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was cleaning out my car the other day, and I just can't. Fuck.
Are there a lot of songs in that movie, or?
Honestly, that might be the only song in the movie.
Okay, yeah.
Because nothing.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
No, there were a couple others. But like that one just stuck in my head. You know, very very similar to the Lego movie. Barbie wakes up singing a song.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, the parallels between the Lego movie and the Barbie movie, I totally see. And the theory that the CEO of Mattel is Buddy the Elf is unfucking deniable. Like,
oh, I don't. Yeah,
have you actually seen the Barbie movie?
I have not. No, but I've seen stuff about it.
But you've seen that theory that, you know, Buddy the Elf is the dad from the Lego movie and the CEO from Mattel.
I didn't see the Buddy the Elf thing, but I saw the connection between the Lego movie and that, and it's like, yeah, that does make sense because, like,
well, yeah, but people are saying that it's actually Buddy the Elf.
Okay.
Because oh my god, the way he acts in Barbie, I fully believe that was Buddy.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok where it was comparing it to the Lego movie, and it's like, this is uncanny, like how similar it actually.
Oh, it totally is.
These things are, yeah.
And honestly, it was probably done on purpose. Like,
that makes sense.
I don't think there was you can deny that.
It made like $1 billion, right?
You wouldn't surprise me. It made a lot of money.
The highest grossing movie of last year. Is that right? Let's see.
Could be.
Come on. $1.4 billion. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Especially post-COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to say that, but like that actually makes a difference because
It
people
does.
just haven't seen movies or aren't seeing movies as much since COVID.
Yeah, it totally does. Still waiting for Oppenheimer to come out.
What do you mean to come out?
Or to that where you don't have to rent it, but actually come on a streaming service you don't have to rent.
Oh, okay. Who knows? It's Christopher Nolan. It may never. It may take a long time before it comes to actual a streaming service because
I hope not.
he's weird with like
Yeah, I get that.
he's one of those directors that's like, oh no, it has to be released in the theater and blah blah blah, and movies are art and
Motherfucker,
comic book
I'm gonna
movies are
watch a movie on a
garbage.
phone. How about that?
Yeah, comic book movies are garbage and blah blah blah. You know, like one of those directors. I mean, the man makes great movies. Don't get me wrong, but like, I'm just sick and tired of these like directors on their high horses. You know,
Yeah.
like movies are supposed to be enjoyable. If it's enjoyable, it's done its job. You know. Yeah.
You know,
Barbie's one
Gordon
on my
Ramsay
list.
may shit talk Taco Bell, but damn it, I'm still gonna eat fucking Taco Bell.
Right? Like, you know, it you know, I don't feel like cooking. I want some nacho fries, you know.
My sister went to Taco Bell the other day. There was no seasoning on them. They were
Oh,
just fries.
ew.
I was like, how does that happen?
That's what makes them is the seasoning.
Exactly.
Like,
She was pissed.
wow.
So,
Yeah. Speaking of Gordon Ramsay, I've been tempted to try a couple of his frozen meals that he has now.
oh yeah,
I don't. Yeah, he's got a few. He's got some, he frozen like in the frozen food section. Um, him and Guy Fieri both have their own line of frozen meals, which it's
okay.
like,
Guy Fieri is not known for cooking. He's just known for eating the food.
yeah. But yeah, and then there's some other lesser known people that have stuff. Snoop Dogg's been having food left and right release. I think I've seen not necessarily frozen food, but like ice cream and cookies and other stuff. But like, yeah, the Gordon Ramsay stuff, I'm like, just like some of it looks interesting, you know. And then there's the one I'm really interested in trying is it's not at my it's not here. Um, the beef Wellington like appetizer bites.
The bites,
I'm
yeah.
like
That
I'm
was
like
immediately what I
yeah.
thought of when you said that was the beef Wellington bites.
I've never had beef Wellington, so
I haven't
it
either.
seems so good though.
It
Like
looks really good.
I'm all about with beef Wellington, you know. And
I
I love the
cannot.
like I love the joke people say about, you know, like have you seen like the the diagram of like the different beef Wellingtons, like how corn dog is technically a beef Wellington.
No,
If you break it down, it's technically a version of beef Wellington.
sure.
But yeah.
I'm looking at like what meals are available. I cannot imagine that the fish and chips one is good.
I think they're all
Like
at least
you okay, if it's done in an air fryer, then okay.
yeah.
But if it's done in a microwave, no, 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 no.
Shepherd's pie might be good. I'm a big fan of shepherd's pie.
I am not. Although that shepherd's pie does not look like a shepherd's pie I've eaten.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty much what shepherd's pie is, at least the kind that I've made.
Maybe I'm thinking. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of pot pie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, shepherd's pie is like ground. It's some sort of ground meat, whether it's beef or lamb or whatever,
Okay. I've never had shepherd's pie then.
with like peas and carrots and in kind of either a gravy or like tomato sauce like thing, and then there's mashed potatoes on top, and it's like baked.
Okay, yeah,
it's really good.
I'm looking at pictures of it now. Yeah,
yeah, it's really good, and it's really easy to make too. So I make it a lot. I think originally it was made with like ground lamb or whatever back in like Scotland in the ye old days and stuff like that.
now that I'm looking at this, I think my mom used to make something similar. Like it was ground beef, corn, maybe onions, and then she put cornbread on top. And that was delicious.
Sounds good. Yeah. Guy Fieri sloppy Joe mac and cheese. No, thank you.
No.
I'll pass. Oh, and then was it the Gordon Ramsay lemon caper chicken? That looks actually kind of good. At least on the picture, it looks good. I don't know what the actual product is, but
Guy Fieri's website for his frozen food, flavortownfrozen.com.
See, what's funny is Gordon Ramsay has risotto as one of his dishes, which it's like, if you know anything about Gordon Ramsay, that's one of the main things. Like he gets mad at people because they screw up, and it's like, because it's like so delicate or whatever. Like you have to make it just perfect or whatever. And I'm like, so you're making something like that, you're turning into a frozen food?
And I'm damn sure he's not. He's not the one making it.
Yeah. See,
or had
the
any
thing that always
input in how it's made.
The thing that always puzzled me was how come these chefs who went on Kitchen Nightmares, his like competition show, how come they never? All you have to do is practice 3 dishes and you'll win the competition: risotto, scallops, and beef Wellington. If you learn to make those 3 dishes, you won the show. Like, as someone who watched seasons of that show, like, those are the main 3 that people screwed up on all the time. So, anyways, what a tangent from Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie. Yeah, that's what that was from.
I have it on my list. I plan on watching it. Yeah. I think we mentioned that it's weird that we mentioned off air, or maybe last time we recorded, but like there's the ASL version.
Yes. I honestly, I think it was definitely last time we recorded, but I don't know if it was we actually got that on the show or not. Yeah, the Barbie with ASL. I don't get it.
Wouldn't it be easier to just read the closed captions?
I did, because I'm a millennial. We do closed captions.
I never do closed captions. I don't understand how people can. Like,
I've learned from TikTok that I am not alone. In fact, I'm in the majority. That a lot of people
I'm not saying.
I'm not saying
you're. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying I can't do it. Like, it's too much for me to I can't focus on the movie if I'm have like closed captions that I have to also read, you know.
You
That's just
glance
being,
at them. You don't read them. You glance at them.
yeah. I understand I'm the weird one about this, but
No, but like Barbie with ASL, you got somebody in the fucking corner doing
you have to look away
sign language.
from the actual, yeah.
Yes, yeah. You with closed caption, you can learn to kind of like read, kind of not looking directly at it, but like kind of down below.
Oh yeah, it's the same with like subbed anime. Yeah.
Yeah, you learn to read with the bottom of your eyes. Or just kind of get the gist of of what's being said without missing anything. But with ASL,
Yeah,
you
with
have
the
to
corner.
look in the corner the whole damn time. Like I inclusion, sure, yes. If you're going to include somebody who might miss out on this Barbie movie,
Inclusion if it makes sense.
yeah, have a Barbie movie with descriptions for the blind.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't they have don't they have features like that though for movies?
I think you can find them. Like you can find recordings and stuff. I know.
I think
There's porn with it. Porn,
I think the
porn has audio
theaters
descriptions.
I think the theaters even have special things.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, theaters.
yeah, because I've seen like special like screenings for certain big movies where they have stuff like that. That you get some little device.
Yeah, you get like headphones or something.
Yeah.
And I know with
I'm like, that's cool.
Subtitles, you get like a little box that actually has the subtitles or the closed captions on it. And I think you like wear it around your neck, and it's like just something that just kind of hangs kind of in front of your face.
Yeah. Maybe it's just my ignorance, but it seems like it takes a lot more concentration and a lot harder to read sign language than actual like text.
Yeah.
I mean, I have mad respect for the people who can read, who can, who know ASL, because that seems really tough.
Yeah. Okay.
And
It's a little device that you put in your cup holder. So basically, you lose your cup holder, and there's like a snake arm. You can kind of adjust where you want it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than putting it around your neck.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've got it on my watch list, Barbie. I'll watch it soon. I still want to type HBO Max when I, try to go to the website. Like it's still haven't broken that habit. Like,
my bookmark still says HBO Max.
yeah, for William, guess what the very first, it's not Barbie's 2, but guess what the very first suggestion is for William on max.com.
Friends.
Yes.
It's also mine.
I love Friends. Oh, such a good show.
I think it's all right.
I got the box set of it. I actually bought that for my mom, but now, it's mine now, so I keep thinking of going and watching like all the special features and stuff on there, but I just never got around to it. I'm a sucker for sitcom though,
Oh, they added the Bally Sports stuff to. Is it Bally? Is that BR Sports?
Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it's the TNT stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet. I don't have to use my parents'
We've had this conversation before.
Have we? I don't remember this conversation at all. But
Because you were like, "Oh, great! I don't have to watch on ESPN or so, something
oh
like
no,
that." You were talking.
ESPN won't have the TNT games,
Okay, yeah.
but
We did have this conversation. Yeah.
YouTube TV, which I just kind of bump off my parents. I get it. Okay, cool. I completely forgot to have the conversation. I don't remember the conversation at all.
I mean, it you've been through some stuff the last couple of weeks, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah, Bally Sports is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's. I saw the B and I was like, Bally Sports. We've talked about that lately.
Yeah, Bleacher Report, they're kind of like a news outlet for sports, or at least they started out that way. I think on HBO or on Max, not only do they have the TNT stuff, but they have like documentaries and sports shows and stuff like that. It looks like now, but yeah, they started out as kind of like a sports outlet, like sports outlet news site,
Okay.
I was about to name a few different ones, but I'm like, I don't know if you know about like the Athletic or
I have seen the Athletic.
yeah, the Athletic's another one, another big one. They snatched up a lot of people from ESPN.
Mm.
And I think they even have more because ESPN, like right before the holidays, they let a lot of people go. Because, of course, that's the thing a big company does.
Good time.
Yeah. But anyways.
We were talking about audio description stuff. Max has an entire catalog of audio descriptions.
Oh, that's cool.
Like Fresh Prince, Family Matters, Full House, Friends, Harry Potter. Anyway, what have you been doing?
Well, let's complete the meme. Barbie, Oppenheimer.
Okay, you watched Oppenheimer.
I've watched Oppenheimer.
Okay, cool.
Because it's finally able to rent for like $5.99. Because for the longest time it was available digitally to purchase for $25.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like,
yeah, no.
But yeah, it was finally available for $5.99, and I had rental credit or whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna watch this. Boy, that's a long movie.
I heard it's long.
It's not just like, I think it's 3 hours long. It's not just that it's long; it feels long.
Damn, I typed in O and it auto-completed Oppenheimer.
Yeah, 3 hours exactly. Wow.
Oof.
You don't ever get like on the dot with movies. That's impressive. But it was good. It was interesting. There's a lot of people in this movie that I didn't realize were in this movie necessarily. Like Robert Downey Jr. I didn't know he was.
Yes, I heard he was in it.
Yeah, but he's a big role in this movie. Matt Damon. Where's the one? Oh, Florence Pugh is in it for a little bit. I think. Did I make that up?
Nope. She is.
I swear she was in.
Yeah,
okay.
she is.
I'm looking and I can't seem to find it on IMDb.
You gotta scroll down a little bit, but yeah, she's there.
Yeah, she was in it for a bit. Some crucial stuff with her. some surprising stuff with her. Jack Quaid's in it. Josh Peck's in it. Those were two that I was like, oh, I didn't expect to see those two in a movie like this.
Sure.
Like, kind of takes you out for a second,
Right.
just because you're like, oh, I don't associate these two with something serious like this, but okay, It was good. It was enjoyable. It was interesting, It, like I said, it felt long. It felt really long, and I'm not quite sure if like some of the scenes they had did not need to be in this, But it's Christopher Nolan who's, he's basically has able to, there is no director's cut because what he releases is the director's cut basically.
Right.
He's just got that power behind him where he can do whatever he wants, It was interesting, like the whole like it touched on a lot of stuff, like the communist scare and all that, the McCarthy stuff, all that. It go it it goes back and forth between like different periods in time quite a lot.
Okay.
Because there's a trial that's going on for Oppenheimer's like clearance, like security clearance, after the fact of the bomb and all that stuff, and that's being like you know that's being that's they're going back to that throughout the movie, and then they'll go going back to like where they were in the story and progressing through it, and then they'll go back to the trial stuff here and there and stuff. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's just like, boy, it felt long. I watched this one on Christmas Day. Good
Okay.
Christmas movie, huh?
Sure.
I was like, oh, I got a lot to do. My Christmas was just me making a bunch of like snack foods and appetizer foods and stuff like that, and just like snacking, watching stuff throughout the day. That's how I basically been doing Christmas for the last few years.
Yours was better than
And
mine.
this is one of the movies I chose. Yeah, Cillian Murphy's, or is it Cillian or Killian?
I've always said Killian.
Killian. Okay. Cillian Murphy was good in it. I'm kind of I'm kind of on the camp of I want him to be Doctor Doom. I think he'd make a great Doctor Doom.
Sure.
Either Doctor Doom or Mr. Fantastic. I can see him doing both really well,
Sure.
He just plays that at least especially in this, he plays the intellect, the cocky intellectual, like I'm smarter than everyone, around me type
Mm-hmm.
really well in this. Yeah, it was a good movie. I'd highly recommend checking it out. I have no idea when this is coming out streaming though. Like I was saying, Christopher Nolan, he's kind of like, I don't know. He's kind of against the whole like streaming stuff,
Too bad.
But it had been out on digital for quite a while, and then it finally hit the actual like reasonable rental price, So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And like I said, I had credit. I had Google Play credit, so I rented it with that.
Interesting. There were 2 documentaries that came out last year. Oppenheimer, The Real Story, and The Real Oppenheimer.
I know I saw on the Hoopla app, the one that's partnered with libraries, under their movies, there was the Oppenheimer thing on there. I can't remember which one that was. Maybe that was the real Oppenheimer. Let me see.
Yeah, these are both available to rent on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Like when I had Oppenheimer up, customers also watched Oppenheimer: The Real Story.
I imagine there were people trying to rush to make, tie-in stuff. It's the same with like, like the B-rated versions of movies like Transmorphers when Transformers came out, or
Atlantic Rim.
whenever, Atlantic Rim, or whenever there's like a Godzilla movie, there's also some thing like Crocodile. When it was Godzilla versus Kong, it was like Crocodile versus something. There was some other like 2 things fighting each other, dumb movie thing. But yeah, there's always people trying to make. Yeah, Oppenheimer: The Real Story. That's available on Hoopla. I saw. Yeah. Yeah. I did listen to what was it? Episode of Neil deGrasse Tyson's Star Talk podcast where he had a person who like did a biography on Oppenheimer. He basically wrote the book, and he was approached. He wrote the book that Christopher Nolan read that had him decide to make the movie.
Okay.
So there was a lot of interesting stuff there, and it was an episode I hadn't watched because I was like, I'm gonna watch Oppenheimer eventually, so I'll save this because I don't want any spoilers. So I finally did watch that, and it was interesting. Boy, remembering back when the very first trailer for Oppenheimer hit, it is not that. It is so different from that very first trailer. Like,
well, that first trailer was just Cillian Murphy kind of in a hallway, kind of black and white. That's kind of all I remember.
well, and it made it seem like it was maybe not necessary. There was more to it because, like, I remember Matt Damon was talking to him in the trailer saying about the like, so there's a chance the world could end if we flip the switch. Like, I remember that was a big crucial part of that first trailer. Like, oh, the whole world could end, and I'm like,
I'm sure that was a fear.
Yeah, I mean, they go into the science about that. It has to do with like the slight chance of the atmosphere catching on fire, and it was like a 0.01, or it was something like very minuscule, like basically not happening. They say like near zero when Matt Damon's character gets upset, and he's like, "What do you want?" He's like, "I want zero, not near zero." And it's like, well, it's science. You can't necessarily, near zero is basically zero. Like,
Yeah.
So. Also, power to the people who actually watch this and Barbie, because like I said, this was long. I could not imagine being in a theater and either seeing this first or having seen Barbie and then
I think just by what you're saying, I think that first, then Barbie.
Oh yeah,
for palate cleanser, happiness.
Exactly, but
Love
the
and
fact of the
sunshine.
matter is, this felt so long. So to tick on another almost 2 hours,
It didn't feel long. Like I would say, Barbie did not feel long.
Yeah,
like it definitely moved at a good pace.
And I'm so glad I did not see this in theaters, just because My bladder would not survive. Like,
My sister said that she did, and I'm like, I kind of wish I did, just because that seems like a good theater movie. Other than The Link,
yeah.
it just
Well,
seems like that'd
yeah.
be a good theater movie.
I do have 5.1 surround sound speakers set up
Okay.
and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I watched it on a 60-inch TV, which isn't as big as some TVs nowadays, but it's still pretty big to me. So, it, I had, in my living room, I have blackout curtains, so it was dark, and I had, it was a good experience.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So, and it's great. I enjoy watching these movies on my surround sound speakers because I can adjust the speakers if need be, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in theaters it's like you can't hear what they're saying, because especially I think with Christopher Nolan movies, he has a reputation on like the sound mix. I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about his sound mix isn't necessarily the best. I don't know if you've ever heard about that or not, but
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard people mention that before.
I think I had a problem with Tenet.
Yeah.
Like there was some with Tenet. I remember there being like
Oh,
the
I
sound
definitely remember that.
was
Yeah.
wrong. It wasn't
Yeah.
mixed right.
I think a lot. I remember hearing around Tenet. I remember people talking about like that's a thing with his movies that I guess I've never really noticed before. But
Yeah.
when you really think about it, there were the sound for like some of the Dark Knight movies were a little weird.
Maybe.
But anyways, yeah, Oppenheimer, 3 hours long. It feels like a 3 hour movie for
Yeah.
sure. Um, yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of people in this movie that I just wasn't expecting to see. That weren't in any of the trailers or any of the promoting. Like, I had no clue Florence Pugh was in this.
Really, the only person I knew was in it was Cillian Murphy. That was it.
Yeah, his wife is Emily Blunt. That's another big one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw her on the in the trailer that's playing on Amazon.
Yeah. So, what's another thing you got?
Another thing I got, I was gonna play an audio clip from this, but my phone died.
Oh.
Is you were hearing some of it before the show? I started reading a new book series called Dungeon Crawler Carl. And this introduced me to a new genre of literature that I think I'm going to get way more into, called Lit RPG. That's books with RPG elements. There's a ton of them. Like, from isekais to what Dungeon Crawler Carl is, which is not, I would not call it an isekai. And that's like, there's menu, like, it's like the isekai is that, there's menus, there's leveling stats, you level up, you put points in, equipment just kind of appears. Like, that's the whole genre of books that I just have never really gotten. I've never really read. Never. So this is my first, and it's amazing. Dungeon Crawler Carl starts off with basically the world being destroyed. Like, if you had a roof over your head, be it, you're inside your house, inside your car, standing under a street lamp, if you had something over your head, you died. And the world was basically flattened. because a bunch of aliens decided that they're going to mine the planet. Oh, but they of course let us know that they were going to do this. Back in ancient Egypt times, they were just backlogged and didn't get to it soon enough. But so yeah, and all over the world, the world dungeon appeared. You know, the stairs going down and down into the world, and basically the goal is to get to floor 18, I think it was, of the world dungeon. And like the dungeons themselves get smaller and smaller. The first one being a little less than the size of the planet. And you basically you're given, you know, oh, now you have inventory, you get achievements, loot boxes, and apparently this is all actually a game that people watch, like on, you know, intergalactic television. This is a reality show.
Interesting. So it's not just fantasy aspects with the dungeon stuff, but it's sci-fi because it's intergalactic, like you said, intergalactic stuff. Interesting.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, and like this one happened to follow some loose kind of fantasy vibes, but you know, one of the NPCs, the Carl's tutorial manager kind of says like, oh yeah, some you know, depending on the corporation that's running the game, it could be a battle royale, or it could be you know, just a big old fight, you know, with using, you know, lasers and, you know, but you know, sci-fi tech instead of fantasy tech. But, and I should the whole reason that Carl was outside in the dead of winter. Actually, when I started the book, it was the same exact date in the book that it was when I started listening to it, by sheer fucking chance. So middle of, you know, beginning of January, in New York, Carl's cat, or his girlfriend's cat jumped out the window, so he goes out to get it, to get the cat, and he's only in his boxers, and he's wearing his girlfriend's Crocs that don't fit, and then everything gets flattened, so now he's got no pants and got no shoes, going through the dungeon, and he starts getting achievements for killing things with his feet, because you know, a lot of bugs and stuff at first, and it gets kind of weird. Like he starts leveling up his feet, and the AI that kind of gives him the achievement. You have now squished 10 bugs or 10 things with your feet. Keep at it. Like, oh, this is, and then it gets really creepy. And his cat that he saved ends up becoming sentient through a special pet treat that he got in a loot box, because he got like a crazy cat lady achievement for, you know, bringing a cat into the dungeon, and being the first to bring a cat into the dungeon.
Yeah, I'm looking and I'm seeing the latest book at least on Audible, book 6, The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, has the cat, it looks like, has a headset on and a sailor's hat.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, what?
And the cat is also a show cat. Like, it's not just a normal cat, it's a show cat. So it's got, not only is it a cat, so it's already think it's high and mighty, but it's a fucking show cat.
God. Yeah. It's weird.
And goes by Queen Donut.
That's an interesting name. All the book 1 through 5 is just like basically narrated by one person, and then book 6 is that same person, and then a few others, including Patrick Warburton.
Dude already sounds like fucking Patrick Warburton. Okay, I'm gonna.
Well, he narrates book 6. He helps narrate book 6 apparently.
I'm gonna pull up fucking Audible and play the.
And they get longer and longer.
I did notice that after the first one. I'm like, oh, these get longer and longer, don't they?
Because the first is 13 hours and a half, and then it goes. Well, the second is only 11 hours and a half, and then it's 16, 18, 23, 26. Jesus, 26 hours.
Yeah, here's the sample for the first book.
The transformation occurred at approximately 2:23 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As far as I could tell, pretty much anyone who was indoors when it happened was instantly killed. If you had any sort of roof over you, you were dead.
Yeah, like I said, he already kind of sounds like fucking Patrick Warburton.
I mean, the way he talks,
yes,
but not his actual voice.
No, not it's a deep voice, but his cadence.
The way his cadence, yeah, exactly.
is Patrick Warburton.
I can see that.
And it wasn't until like yesterday that I found out he did. I thought it was a cast, because I'm gonna see if I can find another clip that has Donut. Because honestly, like, oh my god, this is the same guy.
Only people with.
I saw something on TikTok and I saved it.
Arrow of enthusiastic double gonorrhea.
That's the AI.
This is a regular arrow.
Okay.
But the tip is dipped in a poison that will inflict you with enthusiastic double gonorrhea. Trust me on this. You don't want enthusiastic double gonorrhea. It doesn't kill you, but you'll want it to. It sets your genitals aflame, literally. And then it heals that area of your body over and over. The only way to remove the disease is to, geld yourself. Or pass it on to someone else.
Ugh, holy shit.
Arrow of...
And that gives you a good, what the humor in the book is like.
Yeah. I don't even want regular gonorrhea, let alone enthusiastic double gonorrhea or whatever. Jesus. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I may check this out for sure.
Okay, here's the one guy doing all of his voices.
Obviously, let's start off with Carl.
Okay. God damn it, Donut.
Great. As Donut.
God damn it, Donut.
As Katya.
God damn it, Donut.
Like, it's just it wasn't until yesterday I found out that Carl and Donut were the same voice. I was blown away.
He narrates a lot of books. I'm looking at. He's got 14 pages on Audible.
Sure.
Of books.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. I know the actual, like, the physical book 8 is out, or 7 is out. I don't know when the audiobook for
the audio for 6 came out in September, so I think that's what it said.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
September
no.
1st.
Okay, I thought there were 7, but there are 6. Okay. And I will say that the first book ends with them entering the 3rd floor. So, like I said, there are 18 floors that that nobody has ever beaten. Like nobody's gotten past floor 13. So, and when you get to floor 3, that's when you're able to pick your race and your class.
Ah. Your race.
Yeah, and they're
That's interesting.
yeah, and like,
Sounds like class. That's kind of like D&D almost.
I mean,
3 most of the times
D-
you pick your subclasses.
I mean, like magic missile's a spell. Turn undead is one of the spells. Like D like D&D is mentioned multiple times. So is Pathfinder.
I'll definitely check this out.
So is like
This
a lot of like
interesting.
like a lot of pop culture stuff is also mentioned a lot. Like I don't read a lot of like modern day books. Like books that take place in modern day or on Earth. So like so it's unusual for me. Like, oh, they're talking about Gilmore Girls. Okay, that's just weird.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's really good. I'm really liking it.
It sounds interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely check at least the first one out.
And and this happens whenever I'm listening to a book. I'm like, it gives me thoughts for D&D. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I imagine this definitely.
Oh,
yeah,
this. I'm like, I think our next campaign, I might start it differently. Like something maybe very similar to this.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. We still need
Yes.
we can't even seem to play a session in the last how long?
Yeah, it's been a while.
You need to make sure things are all right for.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, I still have yet to hear from Adam.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Adam yet about last week.
And yeah, he's not one that's on Discord a lot like we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl. I definitely recommend checking it out at least the first book.
God, I've got so many books I need to read / listen to. Just some of them are just it's a little some of them are a bit like overwhelming because it's like 26 hours. It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather it be 2 13-hour books, just the psychological aspect of it, like.
You're talking to somebody who listened to not 1, not 2, but 4 books that were 50 hours plus last year. Took me a month to get each book to get through them.
Yeah, I'll definitely check this out. I'm planning this year. One of my resolutions is I want to listen to more books and stuff. Like I have some, like I've got I've got some Andy Weir books. He's the one who did The Martian.
The Martian, yeah.
I have some of his books that are like that I've been meaning to listen to. Like what's the one? Artemis. I think I well, I've seen The Martian, so I'm like, I don't necessarily need to.
Who knows how that differs from the book.
That's true. But it's like Artemis, which is actually narrated by Rosario Dawson.
Okay.
But that's about like I think that's the one where the moon has become there's like a city on the moon and it's a tourist attraction and stuff like that and
Okay.
that's 9 hours long. That's very that's not overwhelming to look at. But there's that and there's some other stuff and yeah, definitely. That's one of my goals is to try to listen to more books. It also doesn't help that I've also been I've been back into listening to podcasts because I've been listening to sports podcasts because this year I've been getting real deep back into watching the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma's only professional sports team ever.
Right.
We've never had a professional sports, at least we've had minor league stuff, there's a minor league baseball team, I think. But that's, nothing on the levels of NBA, NFL, NHL, all that stuff, It's like some cities have multiple teams in the same sports, while the whole state of Oklahoma only has one team over all sports.
Right.
But I've been deep into that. I've watched every single game. That's where we've talked about how Bally Sports has just been, boy, it's been bad. They only have one. This is the last year in the contract with the NBA. I don't think they're going to pick it up because there's some changes too, Stuart. Recently, I actually we may need to reschedule when we record on certain weeks because all the Friday games for the rest of the season are going to be local channels in Oklahoma City now, or in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Like channels you can get over the air with an antenna, stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is awesome, but also that means I have to watch it live and I can't watch it
Right.
I can't, I can't, we can't record and I can watch it afterwards on Bally Sports app or whatever like that. But that's good news because that means that may be a thing in the future. That may be how the games are. And if that's the case, then hopefully that means there won't be any blackout dates for something like League Pass and I can get League Pass. Because right now for League Pass, at least in Oklahoma, I know it's other areas have it too. I don't think every area has it like this way, but for example, in Oklahoma, if you live within 75 miles or something like that of it's some distance, but basically if you live close enough, you're just blacked out on NBA League Pass. So you could get League Pass and watch the Thunder, but if I had League Pass, I couldn't watch the Thunder.
Right. NHL is similar in that way.
Yeah.
I could not watch Blackhawks games. Not that I kind of want to, because they're not playing well this past couple of years. But I can watch the Red Wings, which are kind of just as close, but I'm not in their blackout area.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that it'll either eliminate the blackouts so that League Pass will be more viable for people who are local and stuff like that. Because you still don't want. I mean, there's still so many people who watch the games. while they're either on their phone when they're out somewhere, or they watch it later on VOD. So having it all be just local live,
Mhm.
like these Friday games are going to be, is not the best. Or apparently some other sports teams have it to where they have their own app where they have like where you can either watch it live on local TV, or you can pay to watch it on the app / get other exclusive content and stuff like that. Because at least here, the like broadcasters and stuff like that for like the Thunder games and all that, they're part of that actual Thunder. They're not part of the Valley Sports, or
Gotcha.
before that it was Fox Sports Oklahoma. Because I learned that because recently, because they're gonna be it's, I thought it was like they were part of Valley Sports, but apparently not, because they're gonna still be the same crew to do these Friday games that'll be on the local TV channels and stuff like that. Which I'm glad I have an antenna so I can actually watch it. And I didn't even know I didn't even know the channel it's going to be airing on existed. It's like Me TV,
I think I've heard of it.
which I looked to see if I could get it. I can. Hopefully it's just because of the content that's being shown now, because it's only 480i, but like it's like MASH and Leave It to Beaver and all
Right.
these like black
Okay,
and white
yes, I have
old school. Yeah.
I have seen that that channel.
Like it's I think it's it's an affiliate channel that's part of the local ABC News channel here. Because the local ABC channel is that has local news and then has all the ABC programming. It's KSWO, and this Me TV is KSWO-Me TV. So
Yeah.
it's like channel 7 and 7.3 technically is what the Me TV is. So like that's gonna be interesting. I'm excited because, like I said, that opens up because it's been rough trying to watch Thunder games, because like I said, the blackouts, all that. Like before, like the past few seasons, I haven't really watched much at all. I've just like followed it, watching, or if I've followed it, box scores, watching highlights, stuff like that, listening to commentators on podcasts, stuff like that, just because like it was such a hassle,
Mhm.
It was such a hassle to watch, because before Valley Sports, it was Fox Sports Oklahoma, and they didn't have an app, I don't think. So it's like you had to have cable television, but you couldn't just have any. You had to have the specific, you had to you couldn't just get any like TV, like like Sling or YouTube TV or whatever. Like you had to have specific ones, because some didn't have. Like it was just a nightmare. And that kind of continued over with Bally Sports, but Bally Sports has the app, so that's been something,
Yeah.
But yeah, I've watched every game so far this season, and the Thunder are really good, Stuart.
Well, good.
We're the second youngest team in the league, and I think we're tied for first in the Western Conference right now. And it's just, was it last night? Yeah, last night it was the second game of a back-to-back for us, and they had a record, their biggest win in Thunder history. They beat the Portland Trailblazers 139-77. That's a
Okay.
lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
almost double.
It's
Almost
almost
double.
double. Yeah.
Getting
Like
there.
there was a point where we were at 100 and something, and they were at 50. Like there was a point where we were at 100 and we had double them. Like they only rose as much as they did because we put our like third string people in like halfway through the third quarter. Like
Okay.
literally, there were
Give it a handicap. Okay.
literally there was a player who scored his first NBA points, and he was a two-way player, which two-way means he's part of the Thunder and part of the G League, which is the minor
Okay.
league Gatorade League. That's what G stands for.
You know, I actually just found out today, actually, that the NBA has like a minor league kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's great for player development because the NBA, they're able to send the players, like they're able to send players over to the G League as much as they want, you know, to like get for development purposes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may not be able to play, they may not get minutes in, like, you know, it's like, oh, we're playing against the Lakers, so our, you know, this one player on our team definitely is not going to get minutes there, but we can send him to the G League and he can play, and he's, you know, and he can get used to playing in that kind of atmosphere. And it's helped a lot, like for some of our players.
Yeah, I know. Baseball has it and hockey has it. I didn't know that the NBA had it too. I don't know if the NFL have it as well.
Yeah, I don't know if the NFL does or not, but there was a restriction on like how long it took for you to be able to send someone, but then they got rid of that. So like we had a player who played a game in the G League and then he ended up playing in the game last night, same day,
Okay.
which it's like, you know.
Okay. The NFL does not. There is no minor league in the NFL.
Yeah, there were players I didn't even know were players that were playing because we were like up 50 something points. I'm like, who is that?
Gotcha.
And then, you know, I listened to some podcasts, one Thunder podcast, and then some other general NBA podcasts. And the Thunder podcast was talking about like the two-way players and stuff like that. And then I got some verification on who they actually are. So, but yeah, it's good. It's fun. I've always been an NBA fan. It's just, you know, it's always been rough. It's been tough because it never had a team until, you know, 2008 when Seattle decided they didn't want to build a stadium, so the Supersonics left. And now Seattle hates Oklahoma.
They left.
Yeah.
They don't want to provide for them, so yeah.
And like, and I've mentioned it before, they voted yes for the stadium here, so
yeah,
we're gonna have the team until 2050, which that just seems, I mean, it's hard to believe it's 2024, but thinking about 2050, that just feels like a post-apocalyptic book.
Honestly,
year.
If
like
looking at, you know, where we are today, I believe that 2050 will be post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't feel like a real year. Like,
no,
it's so far away. Like I said, 2024. That still just feels weird to say. But yeah, there's that. But luckily, like I said,
I was just gonna jump in. You mentioned that the Thunder are the second youngest team in the league. Well, in the NHL last year, the second youngest team won the Stanley Cup. So
yeah. See, And also it's real hard because like I want to be excited for their success, but also I'm kind of like when I see the national media and stuff like that start to really ramp up the Thunder and all this and that, and oh, please don't put too much expectation because we've been here before. We've been here before when, and unfortunately the previous team, like, because in 2012 the Thunder were like one of the youngest teams and they went to the NBA Finals, like, and they've had to fight. They had to play against LeBron James and the Miami Heat, you know, all that, and they were just too young and inexperienced, not enough experience, you know.
Yeah.
Because the playoffs is a different beast altogether from the regular season.
Sure.
And like, I think the most experienced person we have on our team, playoff experience, has only been in 2 playoff series.
Okay.
Which is like, that's not a lot. So, you know, but it's crazy. It's so much fun. And like I said, I'm just like, please, let's not put too much expectation or get too excited, because anything can happen. Because like what happened with the previous team was like, yeah, we went to the NBA Finals, and then we kept going to like the conference finals and kept doing really well for years after that. But like, injuries just kept happening, one injury after the other, year after year, that just basically, you know, prevented us from really doing anything. And it's like anything can happen, you know. I don't take that for I'm not taking our success this year for granted at all. Like, and there was a point was last week when we lost 2 games in a row and they were really game. And it's like, I come to find out like they were games where like the Thunder had to travel and they didn't get into the city until like 3 a.m. that morning. So it's like,
That sucks.
yeah, that's some it's impressive the way they can travel. But then again, like I said, they're the second youngest team. It's like they're like 20, 21, 19, like I think the oldest is like 28. And it's like, boy, just to go back to being 28, you know?
Yeah.
Like, not to mention like 20 or 21. As I'm like, my back is hurting right now, and
The things I could tell my 20-year-old self.
right?
Invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And
The worst part is I had
then get out of
Bitcoin.
it.
I had Bitcoin, and I bought Bitcoin when it was at like 300 a coin, and then I ended up selling it when it was at like 500, thinking, oh great, and then it goes to like 40,000.
Yeah.
At least I didn't spend 10,000 Bitcoins on a pizza,
Right. Most expensive pizza ever bought.
or lose my Bitcoin hard drive wallet in a landfill.
In a landfill.
Yeah, like, I think that person's still trying to find it.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, but that's the heartbreaking stories. But anyways, but yeah, that's I'm not a big sports guy, but I've always liked the NBA. I've always enjoyed basketball, the style of it, you know, the fact, you know, I can't get into something like football because there's too many players, you know.
Well, see,
I like something a little more intimate.
football is like, I view football as not really a team sport. That is, you got the quarterback, and that's about it. There are other people on the field, sure, but you got the quarterback. That is going to be
I mean, unless you're a football fan, and then because I've heard people who are football fans talk about, oh, this person and this person and that
Well,
person, the wide receiver and the
also,
tight end and the
yeah.
blah blah blah.
I
And I'm
mean,
like,
yes, there
I
are other
don't-
people on the field, sure, but it's the fucking quarterback show. Like no
Yeah.
no matter the team, no matter the quarterback, it is the quarterback show. But at the same time, it's like they play for 5 seconds, and then they spend the next 5 minutes analyzing what they just did.
Yeah.
It takes you 5 hours to fucking watch a game.
Yeah. I think it's about 2 hours for an NBA game for the most part. It's around there.
Yeah,
So it's not too bad.
it's about that for a hockey game. I mean, hockey games don't usually stop. There's not a whole lot of stops in hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why I like soccer and I like hockey, because they don't stop, and you know how long you're going to be there for.
Yeah. I love the style that's in like basketball, because some of the shots these players are making, they break the laws of physics. I feel like
Sure.
it's just incredible, and they make things like the fact that some players can get bumped in midair, and before they even hit the ground, they can put up a shot and sink the shot. Like,
Yeah.
just to have that kind of body control is just so impressive. And also, I love dunking. Dunking is so fun to watch. What's even better than dunking, Stuart, is the alley-oop dunks,
Sure.
where one player throws the ball up, the other catches it in the air and dunks it. We've had some of those this season. It's been really fun to watch.
What about a self alley-oop?
We had one of those. Our rookie did one of those. He threw it up and bounced it off the glass backboard and caught it himself and dunked it. And it's like, that's just dirty to do in an NBA game.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
that's something you like do in a pickup game to like, mess with people, and you never see that. And the announcers were even saying stuff like that too. Like,
Yeah.
that's just crazy. Like the fact that, oh, and blocks. I love a good block. Blocks are so fun to watch. And our rookie this year, or one of our rookies this year, he's such a good blocker. He had like 9 blocks in one game. It was just insane. But anyways, what's something else you've been up to?
A ton of anime.
Ooh, I've watched a couple.
I'm not going to talk about anything that's currently airing, because anything that's currently airing, I've only seen 1 episode. And I feel like this season, 1 episode is not enough. Like,
there's some interesting stuff coming out this season.
There is some interesting stuff, and I'm like, I need more to really, like, 1 episode doesn't give me, enough to really kind of talk about. But some that I did watch, I'm pretty sure you watched this one too. My Dress Up Darling.
Oh, so good.
I finally watched it. I really enjoyed it. That was good.
Yeah.
It's a good kind of believable romance.
Yeah. And we've said this before. I like the fact that romance is getting better in anime. Like,
yeah, I've said this before. I don't like the romances that are like, they're together because we need story. They, like a lot of animes, I feel like do that kind of stuff. Like, especially harem animes, they're really bad at stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, they love the main character for no real reason.
for no reason
just-
whatsoever.
It's just because he's the main character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, harem animes are real bad about that. But no,
That's what those people want, though, I guess. But
I mean, it is every boy's fantasy. I mean, sure. Oh, not every boy, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, my Dress Brownie is good. It might be getting a season 2.
I kind of hope so, because, I mean, I could see it going either way, you know, but, like, I would be fine with more.
Sure.
For sure.
Okay, it was announced in September of 2022 that a sequel is in the works.
Nice. Okay.
So it might come out maybe maybe later this year at the earliest, or next year for sure. But
That'd be great.
Yeah, it was. I can say it was good. It was funny. I don't know what else to say about it. Story is a dude who's so into building dolls, specifically Hina dolls, which are really delicate, intricate dolls. And
that was the weird part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He had to know how to make clothes for some reason. The most popular girl in the school ends up finding out that he can kind of make clothes, and she wants to cosplay and makes a bunch of, and he ends up being her kind of cosplay maker, like dressmaker. And the first one that is from a hentai game, and dude is so into his craft that he has to watch the source, or he has to know the source material, so he plays the games. And at one point he's playing the game at home, and his grandpa walks in on him. He doesn't even think about what's going on, and just talks to his grandpa just casually. And his grandpa's like, "Oh, I guess he is at that age." He starts writing stuff down in his notepad, and he's taking notes.
Yeah. It was definitely one that I heard a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, I definitely knew about this one, mainly because there is a VTuber that shows up in my YouTube a lot for clips, stuff that I sometimes watch. She is the main character's voice actress, and when that was coming out, she was talking about it a lot. So it's just something that I meant to do, just never got around to. And you know, being sick is a good time to do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
I've got one that I was 10 billion% excited to watch.
Okay. I wonder what that is.
I know I've made that joke before, but
Yeah.
I don't care. I know you hate that.
it's a good joke because it annoys me.
Yeah. But Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
I continued watching the second part of season 3, I believe that's what it was. Which I didn't I forgot it was on season 3. I thought it was still I thought it was still another part of season 2, just because, like, the way they're separating animes nowadays, it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
But I believe it's the second part of
Looking at you, Attack on
season
Titan.
3. Oh yeah, the anime that never ends.
Except it did.
Yeah. But yeah, the Dr. Stone was it the in beginning of season 3 they started the like they're building a giant ship because they're gonna like try to travel the world to try to get resources and stuff like that to try to make more of the miracle cure to unpetrify people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they like go through and try to like find certain people that they feel that can help them. Like they get this one rich person who is very good with boats and is an expert when it comes to like the high seas and stuff like that, and they make him the captain and all this and that. They find an island where because I think I believe they need platinum. It was platinum they need because it's platinum and then some kind of some kind of acid or something that's used to make the whatever miracle cure to release people from the petrification. But platinum is because before it was like something they got from like bat dung or something. I think it technically was.
Okay.
It was something weird that it came from bats that was a natural thing that happened over time. It's how like, I think that's how like the first few characters in the show, that's how they accidentally got released.
Mhm.
But because Senku is smart, he's able to he knows how to make it. And I think platinum is the ingredient they need, and so they end up finding an island that has platinum. And the midway point kind of ended on a cliffhanger. They had certain people like because there was like a civilization on this island, and there was a people who were like in charge, and the main person had a device to petrify people to do what the whole premise of the show was. People turned to stone. There was someone who had a device to do that. So it ended on a cliffhanger where they had people infiltrate like infiltrate and try to like pretend that they were part of because the bad people, they like would round up like pretty girls from the other little villages around,
Mhm.
and it's a typical like thing
Right.
where round up the pretty girls to bring to please the leaders and all this and that. They had some of their people though. The Senku had some of his people infiltrate, and they end up making like semi like earpieces and stuff like that. And it's interesting because some of the science is right, and some of the science I'm like, I don't right at all. Like, I don't know if you could actually make an earpiece the way they did, but the second half is basically I think there's one more episode that hasn't come out, but I was like, it's close enough. I'm just gonna watch, But the second half is basically them trying to figure out how to stop the evil people from, turning other people into, into stone and all this and that, and trying to get the platinum from the island so that they can go on a journey because their goal is to free everybody, as many people as they can. So, a lot of interesting stuff happens. The second or they tease that the next season, I believe they're going to the U.S.
Interesting.
because they need corn to make they need corn to make like alcohol in order to do some. Oh, they need corn in order. No, that's a spoiler, I guess. But they need corn. That's not really a spoiler, but they need corn for something.
Mhm.
In order to do something very, very crazy and like out of this world type of thing that you would not expect them to be able to do in, their stone world that they live in now.
There's a lot of things
Like-
that they do that we wouldn't expect they could do.
Yeah.
Like the radio.
I mean, the way they make it, I could kind of see it maybe, but like
Right.
their version is very primitive. Like
Glasses without doing any kind of examination.
that, yeah, that, unless it's just like standard like reading glasses, like the type you buy from like Walgreens, that just like magnify.
I don't think that was her issue. I think she really needed glasses.
Yeah. Well, it's not just her. It was the other dude, the dude with the spear.
Oh right, yeah, he needed them too.
Yeah, he needed them too. But like they end up making a fidget spinner because they need because basically it's like inside of fidget spinner is like ball bearings
Right.
and like stuff like that in order to because they make a very primitive drone. Like
Okay.
a remote controlled drone,
Sure.
which isn't wireless; it's wired. They have it hooked up to a wire and all this and that, but like they need this in the part of the fidget spinner for stabilization. Which is like that. Yeah, like that's kind of that. The science works for that, like ball bearings and the way all that. But like I don't know about the other part, the actual electronics part of it. I know nothing about electronics,
No.
so. I just have to like, okay, cool. I'm taking your word for it that most of this is semi possible because they do go into stuff where it's like metal Senku, where he explains things and breaks things down, and all this and that, which I find interesting and fun. Whether or not it's 100% true or not, I still think it's a fun aspect.
I know
'cause it's true in that world, at least.
Right, yeah.
It may not necessarily be true in our world, but it's true in that world.
I know that Carrie Byron from Mythbusters,
Yeah.
she watched some episodes and said like, what they're doing is possible, absolutely possible to do, and the way they're doing it, it's close.
Yeah, I definitely saw that. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. I like some of that stuff. Yeah, I like watching those like videos of real people watching something and comment. Like I remember there's this doctor who commented on what was that show about the human body, like the cells and the red blood cells and white blood
Are you
cells.
talking about Cells at Work?
Cells at Work, yeah. There was a series where a doctor was like watching
Dr.
and
Mike.
commenting. Yeah, and it was like, yeah, that's pretty much true. It's like
That's actually how I discovered Dr. Mike, and I've actually seen like a bunch of his other videos. Same with Legal Eagle. He's a lawyer.
okay.
And it was him reacting to episodes of like Suits or something like that.
Interesting.
And like, how like no TV show or movie that takes place in a courtroom always breaks one cardinal rule, and that was stepping into the well. That's the space between the judge and the desk of that the everybody sits at. You're not allowed to go there.
Yeah. It just looks better for TV. That's why
Yeah.
they do it. Yeah. But yeah. I like watching those videos where it's like they break down something from a show or anime or whatever.
Yeah.
They tell you if it's actually real or not. And it's always fun whenever it's like, yeah, they really did put effort into when they made this because they got these things right.
Yeah.
You know, it's always great to know that the thing you like is legitimate. Like
Exactly.
they didn't just phone it in, you know.
Exactly.
Like it's this it was also like watching Stargate, like when I was rewatching Stargate, because I listen and consume a lot of like Star Talk and Neil deGrasse Tyson and all that physics and stuff like that. There were a lot of references that I've heard and I've learned and stuff like that
Sure.
from listening to him, whether him some special guest on or whatever, that they were talking about in like, you know, on Stargate, like, oh, the black hole's time dilation where it slows down, you know, like that's real.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
absolutely. That's absolutely a thing.
I love that. There was a lot of interesting stuff there. Yeah.
There actually is a base under Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh,
like a military base, and like all those exterior shots that you see throughout the 10 years, that was all shot in one day, because that's what they were allowed to do. That's why you see a lot of the repeating. It's the same damn shots over and over again. But apparently, and there are tours going that tour that base. There's a supply closet, and there's a sign on there that says Stargate Command.
That's awesome. I will say, in November, and I think I'm going to stop, but like for the last couple, because there hasn't been as much content to really like, you know, justify me paying, but I signed up for the Star Talk Patreon.
Okay.
And because I was hoping there'd be like all kinds of exclusive stuff, and there's just, well, maybe it's because of the holidays, but there really hasn't been a lot. But there was a chance to ask a question, and I asked. I don't know if I don't know if they'll pick my question or not. I'll have to wait. But I did ask about like that episode of Stargate with the black hole. Like, well, you know, I mentioned that, and I was like, what actually happened if the wormhole opened, you know, close enough to a black hole?
Close enough to a black hole.
Like, yeah, because that's my favorite Stargate episode. I love that.
It's a good episode.
It's great. Yeah.
It's a good episode.
So, like, I'm fingers crossed, you know, that they ask my question or answer my question. Because I was just like, well, you know, I'm paying, so might as well try to ask, you know.
Right.
And the particular episode that it was for, they had a guest who, like, in the past, he's talked about, like, pop culture references to that had like physics and stuff like that, kind of like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this would be the perfect question for their guest. So I'm hopeful whenever that episode does come out. But yeah, Dr. Stone, it's I love it. It's so fun. Boy, I still can't get over that first half of season 3 where they had that one episode where they switched Senku's voice actor with that other guy. That was jarring as heck.
You said it was season 1?
No, it was the first half of season 3, I believe.
Okay. Oh, I remember talking about it. Why did they have to switch his voice out again? I don't remember.
Because I think he was like away at some. We looked it up. He was away at some convention, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. I remember us talking about it, but I don't remember the reason.
It was the other guy, the other like character, the other science main character. I forget his name. Uh, Chrome. It was the voice actor for Chrome voice Senku for that episode.
Yeah, couldn't record in time due to being out of the state in Australia for a convention. That's exactly what it was.
And I remember I was watching it I was watching the first half week to week, and I was worried because I'm like, wait, is this just how, like, did the voice actor die or something, and they had to have like him? Is this how it's going to be for? Because it was jarring. It was not
I'm
good.
sure it was.
Yeah, it just felt wrong. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm excited for more, and I hope this continues. Like, I honestly don't know how popular Dr. Stone is. Like, I hope it's popular enough to where it keeps on going,
It might be.
because
It definitely might be.
they're teasing some really interesting things. Crazy, batshit crazy stuff, but it's an anime. Like, can't expect it to be 100% science accurate.
Exactly.
And I'm okay with that, But yeah, apparently they did establish that, like, there was a device that did the petrification, so like it may not be just a like natural or heavenly type thing that was kind of teased, that might have been the possibility,
Okay.
that it might that since there was a device, it could possibly have just been someone decided to do it technologically,
Yeah.
So I'm excited for more. Like I said, there might be of this of season 3, the second half.
But it's weird because on Crunchyroll, like anime dub, or dub English sub, and then you get to episode 13 or 12, it's like dub English. Then episode 13, dub Portuguese. 14, dub Espanol, dub English, dub Portuguese. Like, what the hell,
Yeah.
Crunchyroll? What are you doing?
Yeah, there's a lot of they've been dubbing a lot of like other languages, and it's real frustrating when you see dub sub on an anime, and it's like, oh cool, and then you go to watch it and it's dubbed for other languages besides English.
Other than English, yeah. So like that's kind of what it looks like on this. It's English. Then all of a sudden, Portuguese, Spanish. Like, okay, do you not have English?
Yeah. And like some of the languages they have for dubbed is just like, wow, I did not expect that. Like they have some very different. Let's see.
Japanese, English, German, Latin American Spanish, Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese. Brazilian Portuguese. At least that on this particular episode of Dr. Stone that I opened.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's some others
But
that have some.
I've seen Russian before.
Yeah, Russian, and then there was some very weird, like different, like not common Asian like countries. I feel like I've seen too. That I was like, really? Okay. Like Philippine or whatever, something like that. Like, but yeah, it sucks when because sometimes they just say dub sub,
right?
And they and you don't know until you actually go and try to watch, and then you're like, oh, it's dubbed for these 6 other languages. and none of them are English. Disappointing. It's still
in Arabic, but not in Spanish. Great.
Crunchyroll's still a mess. Like,
It's not perfect at all.
yeah.
I
still can't believe
I am happy.
Funimation and Crunchyroll still are separate. Like, I don't know why. What's the purpose of them still functioning separately?
Funimation does they're the ones that still do the dubs and they sell the physical discs. While
But like, what's the
Crunchyroll,
purpose of them both having streaming services?
they don't.
Like they don't. Funimation doesn't.
Funimation says it has, there's streaming stuff there. You can click on it, but you cannot watch anything. Like there is nothing. Like you try to watch it, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. So they just haven't.
Yeah, it says sorry.
That's weird.
Oops, that says sorry for only for subscribers.
Yeah, try premium plus.
There used to be free stuff.
I'm sure there are some free stuff still, but yeah, $10. You can still pay for premium plus $10.
I'm sure if you want to pay for it, they'll take your money.
Yeah, but like, I just don't get why it's still like, because there's nothing exclusive, right?
No.
Yeah, that's just my thoughts. Like, it's just strange, but yeah, it's Crunchyroll, and then their only real competition is High Dive. It's not really much of a competition.
No, High Dive has its own issues.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, come on, how hard is it to put a skip forward 10-second button or a forward at all in your fucking player? Like, you can do it on, when you're watching on, on like a laptop or on the website, but on any kind of app, like, on a phone or a tablet or a TV, no.
Yeah. But yep, Dr. Stone. I enjoy it. It's one that it's not like my favorite, but it's one I really enjoy quite a lot. Like whenever I'm able to watch it, I always enjoy it. Like, but I wouldn't necessarily put it up there with my like top favorites.
Sure.
But it's definitely one that I look forward to every time and want more from.
I get that.
So, what's another anime you got?
I've got another romance.
Ooh.
I turned into you.
Hey.
I don't know if you've seen this one or not.
Can't get it in real life, so might as well watch it.
Exactly. I watched a couple of Cuckoos.
Have I seen this one? I might have.
The two main characters were switched at birth. And it's not a secret. It's not like they find out later. Nope. Like first scene of the show, you see the baby switched at birth, and it starts out knowing like, oh, I'm gonna meet my real parents today because I was switched at birth. So like it's known. But on his way to the library to study, the dude comes across a girl who's up on a pedestrian bridge over a busy road. Looks like she's about to jump. And he kind of, dives, no, don't do that, blah, 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 all that stuff. Pratfall, grab your boob. Well, turns out she wasn't actually going to jump. She was just going to make it look like she jumped, or was going to send to her parents. Because they had arranged a marriage for her. So she's like, what if we pretend to be dating? Or else I will send this picture that was actually taken of you grabbing me.
You think the whole bridge thing where don't jump and she wasn't really gonna jump, that would narrow it down, but no, there's a few animes like that. I can think off the top of my head.
I know. Even the arranged fake marriage. I've even read the manga past the anime of one that does that.
I don't think I've seen this one. I mean, parts of it sound familiar, but not familiar enough. Like, or if I have, it's been a while. I don't know. When did this come out?
Last year, I think. And turns out the girl is actually like Instagram famous. Like she's got a lot of following followers. While they're busy taking pictures of their fake date, some stalkers appear of hers, and they can confront him. Turns out, even though the dude is very studious and he's second in his class, his parents were delinquents, and so he knows how to fight. It only comes up a couple times in the show though, but and they go, my parents come to pick me up, or they've sent somebody because I'm fucking rich. And I wish you were the person that I was engaged to be married. ... Goes to the meeting with the parents. Oh, look, it's the other person, and instead we're gonna have both the childs in our lives, so we're gonna arrange them to get married.
Huh.
So they already met. They faked that they already knew each other. Like, well, shit. Then like the rich girl's family, they buy him a house, go, okay, you guys are gonna live together even though you're still in fucking high school. I've never understood that. The whole thing in Japan of high school students living by themselves.
Yeah, is kind of weird. Yeah,
because it happens a lot in anime, like a lot.
it's like it's one of those things where it's like, is that a real Japanese culture thing, or is that just something for anime? Like,
I feel like it's a thing just for anime, but it happens a fucking lot. Like I know in like the Japanese school system, like high school is treated like college for us. Like you have to test into high schools, or else you go to like a vocational high school kind of a thing.
yeah.
A trades school. So and then there's also college on top of that, but so like I do get, you can apply to a high school on the other, you live out in the suburbs of Hokkaido or something like that, and you apply to a high school in Tokyo. Sure, I get that, but it's just a little weird. Like high school students living by themselves. I was not able to. I could not have sustained myself in high school.
And not just like necessarily like later on in high school, like for us, like
Sure,
it's like 14 years old for
Yeah.
them, 14 or 15, and it's like, yeah, that's no. I
and there
could not
also
do that.
there might be some restriction in that high school where you can't even have a job.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how do you fucking make money? How do you're living by yourself? How are you gonna survive?
It's your parents' allowance that they sent you.
Hopefully they can. But yeah, they live together. They plan to break off the engagement once things kind of settle down. Because like dude's actually in love with another girl who's the number one in their class, and like he overheard her once saying like, oh, she's into guys that are smarter than her, so he made it his goal to like beat her and then ask her out. And then his kid sister realizes, oh, we're not actually blood related. ...
Oh, I bet you love that.
I was not thrilled there. But it's a good anime. I was hinting there is a harem involved. But it definitely seems like there is, like, unlike a lot of harems where there's definitely a main girl, but like only like the fans kind of know it, really, and like the characters themselves don't know it. This one, it's kind of clear to everybody involved.
Okay.
And I think it is getting a season 2 as well, because there was a couple of parts of it I'm like, okay, you're hinting at something that is not resolved. And there was an episode where like they're going through like a family album, and they focused on a photo of this white-haired girl, and then it wasn't brought up in conversation, nothing. Just there was a long focus on this one picture, and then it was never addressed at all. Like, okay, that's a hint at a future character, another member for the harem, but we never see him. I'm looking to see if there was confirmed a season 2.
It's one of the longer season 1s for an anime, right?
Yeah, it was a 24 episode one, I believe.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, 24 episodes. Don't see a confirmation on a season 2. So just a bunch of the articles, is it getting a season 2? And then it never talks about a season 2 in the damn article.
Oh God, yeah, those are so irritating.
And there's a ton of them.
There used to be a site like is it getting another season or something? Like there used to be a site I remember.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I've tried to find it again, but I can't for the life of me. It might have just it might have just went away. But it had like actual links to real stuff to let you know if there was a new season of that coming out or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be getting a season 2. I don't know. There's YouTube videos with that as title, so it might be getting one.
Gotcha. I've got another anime. I'm in love with the villainess.
I've seen that one on TikTok.
It's another one where it's a like corporate drone, like just type character ends up. She and it's a female protagonist. She ends up waking up in her favorite Otome game as the heroine. And the big plot twist is she played the game, but her favorite character is the villainess of the game, and it's very humorous because she's like she gets like kind of abused by the villainess throughout the show,
Uh-huh.
and but yet she's like, oh yes, I want it, step on me harder, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
she's
like,
a bit of a masochist.
and you know, it gets real goofy like that, and at times like kind of like, oh, over the top, but like it does end up like settling down into something actual, like actually real, you know,
Mhm.
and you know, like actually genuine and kind of wholesome at times. And she's a little overpowered in the game, but she's definitely not the most overpowered, because she ends up coming across people who are definitely more powerful than she is. So it's not one of those necessarily like, oh, I'm the most powerful and I can just get by without having any confrontation or issue at all type, you know,
Mhm.
that we see a lot in animes lately. Because she does come up against someone who gives her actual trouble and issue, and you know, it doesn't necessarily, you know, isn't necessarily, oh, she wipes the floor with them, you know.
Yeah.
It's really good. I liked it. It ended basically, I could see it ending like and just being done, or I could see there being more to it for sure. It's one of those where I kind of like that with animes, because like you're good if it doesn't get more,
Right.
but like it leaves it open for more if you know, if it does do popular,
Right.
versus oh, it didn't do popular, it left it wide open for more. Now you feel it's unresolved, you know.
Like Horimiya. I felt like season 1, it was like you could be absolutely fine just watching season 1. But oh look, there's a season 2, and it's a bunch of side stories that you never got, that was never told in season 1.
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, it's funny because like, you know, she and she ends up, you know, getting abused, or she ends up getting bullied by the villainess because she's this, and then she ends up like getting more involved in the villain life. She ends up like, oh, I need a job. Okay, I'm gonna try to, you know, I'm gonna become or her schoolmate or whatever,
Mhm.
because she's royalty and needs one. And oh, I'm gonna use my in-game knowledge. She kind of like blackmails the villainess's father of knowledge she knows about stuff to get the job. Because apparently there was like some stuff that happened, you know, and he's like befuddled that she knows what you know, she knows what she knows, and the basically there would be no way for her to know. But you know, it was a game that she played religiously, so she knows all the ins and outs of it. But so she ends up getting more involved in the villainess's life. Her Claire is her name, and it kind of, yeah, like I said, it kind of ends nice for the most part, and you kind of like, there's definitely room for more, but like if it ended, you're not totally upset.
Yeah.
You know, or at least I wouldn't be totally upset. I would like more, but you know, just there's only so much animes that can get more than one season, you know.
All right.
That's just the way it is. Like the odds that not every anime can get, or else there'd be so many animes that wouldn't even get season 1 if
Exactly.
every anime got multiple seasons. So it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was very goofy, but at times it as the story progressed, it kind of it reeled itself in and got a bit more tame and wholesome, and I would definitely check it out. Also another game about like where the villainous of a game like is a big focus point. I think this is like the third anime that's come out in the last like year to 2 years.
More
Like that.
more.
Yeah.
There's one airing right now.
Oh, is there?
Yep.
Okay. So, what's something else you got?
Well, you reminded me of another anime I watched that I didn't put on my list. The most heretical last boss queen, from villainous to savior. Some of you have heard this before. Protagonist reincarnated as the villainess of her favorite Otome game. She realizes, like, oh, this is going to end poorly for me. I better change some shit. Which is the exact plot of another anime. I know. But and honestly, it's very similar to that anime as well. She realizes a little early in the life before things get too bad for her to fully reverse on the character's life. And like the whole thing is like, oh, the person who's supposed to take over ruling, she's supposed to have the ability of premonitions, which, oh, she's played the game, so guess what? She has premonitions because she knows what's gonna fucking happen. But because she's also the final boss, she just inherently has like, she's like the best sword fighter around. Just inherently. Because the actual person who is actually better than her hasn't trained yet. And like she manages to, like, people who in the game she pissed off and they want to kill her now. She then befriends them. They fall in love with her.
Okay, where's this one at?
High Dive.
High Dive.
This one's on High Dive. I didn't say. And like she still believes that she's gonna become a villain, but she's trying to set things up to, if she becomes tyrannical, there are things in place to take her down. Like the two main characters that are absolutely in love with her are her adopted brother. I'm not thrilled with it. And the son of the general of the guard. She told them both, if I ever become tyrannical, kill me. Like she told them both kind of in secret. If I ever I ever get to a point where I'm harming my own citizens, kill me. But she's not realizing, like, she's playing the game already. You know, she's already not going to be the villain. She doesn't quite realize that. But it's good. Like I said, it is the exact same plot as another anime that I cannot think of the name of.
I mean, there's a few where it's like, oh, she's the villain, and they need to do stuff to try to stop them from actually being the villain, and you type in villain.
My next life as a villainess.
Yeah, that was the first big one. That
Yeah,
I feel like that went on my radar.
Yeah, I feel like these two have a very similar plot. Which I'm looking at my life as a villainess, and I'm thinking, did I see season 2? I don't remember.
Yeah, you type in villainous and Crunchyroll, and there's a few. Like,
Yeah,
I'm the villainous, so I'm taming the final boss. Like,
I started that one. I never finished it because like episode 4. Like I'm looking because it says watched. That one I felt like that was a season right there. Like that story was a season.
yeah, I think that one does have like arcs, like that, where there's a few episodes, and that's kind of like an arc. Yeah.
Yeah. Villainous level 99. That's the one that's airing right now. There's only one episode out.
Yeah.
And this is one where she's like, I just want to stay under the radar. I'm not gonna be the villain. I don't want to interact with the main characters at all. I'm just gonna hide. Oops, I'm level 99. Everybody else is level 1.
Yeah. Just when they start to like, oh, that's an interesting take on the typical this typical anime genre.
Right.
And then they're like, it is. Let's copy it.
Let's
over
copy
and
it.
over again.
Yeah. It's this has now become a subgenre of isekai as Otome isekai.
Subgenre of a subgenre of no, yeah.
Now you want to change it up a bit? Do a reverse isekai Otome, where Otome characters come out of the game into real life.
Interesting. Yeah.
And believe the main character is the hero.
Was there a movie like that?
I've just written a story for you.
Was there a movie like that?
I don't know.
Was it no, that's not the right person I'm thinking of. That's the right person I'm thinking of. Wasn't that like, yeah, wasn't it Enchanted? Wasn't that like, came from the fairy tale into the real world?
Kinda, yes. That one is a reverse isekai. But I'm more thinking like the thought I just came up with. Well, like,
yeah, in actual anime form. I get
it.
Yeah.
The characters minus the main character of the Otome game come out and believe the main character of the anime is the main character of the Otome game.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that being a thing. Yeah.
That's my idea for the story. Japan, go. I'm sure there's a light novel or web comic with that plot.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, God, it baffles me how many like light novels / mangas there are, like just out there. Because with how many animes there are, that's barely even a fraction of how much the actual light novels / mangas are. Like,
Well, absolutely.
God. Sometimes I feel like we're in the wrong country, Stuart.
I don't know. My coworker mentioned today that, like, oh yeah, if it snows real hard, we'll have to sleep on our desk like the Japanese. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Like, yeah, like, they say Americans work too hard. I think fucking Japanese people work too damn hard.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's the Chinese, right? Because they're the ones who have like the companies need suicide nets.
Sure, them too. But I mean,
Like
how many like isekai animes are like dude dies from exhaustion at work?
Too hard. Yeah.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen here. Like that's not a thing that happens in Japan.
Yeah. There are a few. The fact that there are more than one,
Like
crazy.
Like
yeah.
they work themselves so hard when they're sick that they pass out from a damn cold. That doesn't happen here.
Oh, speaking. That reminded me. You were talking about the living in living by yourself in high school thing, and I was wondering if that's just a culture thing. The whole like catching a cold so easily. Is that
It's not
a Japanese thing or is that an anime thing?
It's not
like,
just catching a cold, but like the cold floors you. Like, yeah,
because there's been times where I've been in my life I've been wet outside in the cold or whatever,
yeah.
and I never caught a cold.
I'll get you from that. Yeah, like yeah, our clothes are wet. Better get those dry because we get to catch a cold. That doesn't fucking happen here.
Yeah, like, and that happens a lot in anime. Like
I feel like it is a Japanese thing because they carry umbrellas everywhere. We don't fucking carry umbrellas. You're weird if you're an American. You're carrying an umbrella.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it was raining today. Nah, didn't have a fucking umbrella. Because hey, guess what? Clothes dry when you're still wearing them. They will dry if you're still wearing them. I don't know if the Japanese know this. They do dry if you're still wearing the clothes.
But if you're in wet clothes for more than 5 minutes, you're gonna catch a cold that knocks you out for a week.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you have a point there. Yes, I agree. It's another weird thing in anime that
when we were talking about the other thing, I was trying to think of it because I knew there was something and I couldn't think of it until we brought this up, and I'm so glad because that's something that's always bugged me in anime or bugged me / made me curious. Like, is that just like is that really a thing for the Japanese people? Like, are they that worried, or do they catch colds like that quickly, that easily? Because it's not a thing here.
Yeah.
I've gone through a lot worse than some of these people in animes who catch just a crazy, outrageous cold. Like,
yeah, it's I don't get it.
it's like, is it just an anime trope, or is it something that's actually culturally, a cultural thing over there? Like, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff like that in animes that I'm just like, I wonder, is that just an anime thing, or is that actually a real thing? But
I'm looking on Reddit. People have just like asked that question, and yeah, the comments are like, not really. No, it's pretty much the same as over here. Like, why is it a thing in anime?
It's yeah. Um,
What else have you been watching?
I've been watching some stuff on Apple TV. Because the Target app was like, hey, here's 3 months free of Apple TV, and it's like, well, I've already done that before. I don't think oh no, I can. It lets me do it again. Okay, sure. So I'm catching up on shows that I watched back the last time I did the 3 free months of Apple TV. One being Schmigadoon season 2.
Schmigadoon, right? I've been seeing stuff. TikTok has been showing me Schmigadoon clips lately.
Schmigadoon is so good. Like, it's so ridiculous, but in just the best way. Like, and it's like the main characters, they break the fourth wall because they're like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, what is even going on?
Yeah.
The first season was kind of like, they're in Sound of Music type, whatever, the like way long ago where it's like, pennies were like you could live off of like $1 for like a year types, like crazy stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 is sped up more, and it's based on, it's not Schmigadoon, it's Schmakago.
Schmakago, okay.
Schmakago. Did you ever watch any of the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I did not.
Okay. Did you ever see any clips from that at all?
Few.
Because I don't know if the black guy from that show.
Okay.
He's in this, and he's like kind of the narrator, and he's great. He's fantastic, and he was great in Kimmy Schmidt too. I loved him. But he's like the narrator of when they go into Chicago. Chicago is, of course, like, it's Chicago, like the musical, and there's some other musicals, like there's some was it Sweeney Todd references and Sweeney Todd
Okay.
type stuff that happens in the world, and then there's some other things, and but basically the main two characters, which is one of them is Keegan Mike, or
Yes.
yeah, Keegan Michael Key, and then there, I don't know the other person, but they've been in other stuff, but
Cicely Strong.
yeah, she's been in things,
She's been in things.
but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, her, but nothing
she was in
like.
She was in SNL.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that makes sense because this is also like produced by Lorne Michaels, who's the head of SNL.
Yeah.
So, but like they're a couple, and they find like that in the whole thing of season 1 was they can't leave until they find true love, and they go through obstacles where they end up like breaking up and trying to find true love with other people, and end up realizing they love each other. Well, season 2 starts out that they're like, okay, we're back in the real world. We know we love each other. Daily life, and they're trying to like, I think that they're trying to get pregnant and they're having issues and stuff like that, and they're just like life is just breaking them down, and then they're like, let's go back to Schmigadoon. Let's just do it. We can just live a happy, carefree life. And then they try to go and they can't find it. And then finally they end up in Chicago, and it's this big, like, the most wacky musical numbers are in this show, and it's so great. I love it. It's so ridiculous because it's a parody, but like it's a parody, but the characters like no, like they just act serious. Like all the characters besides like the two main characters, they just act like it's it's serious, and it's they play it so well. Like the cast, they did a great job. Um, a lot of the cast from the first season return, and they just play like different characters. And even the main two characters, they're like, oh, that's so and so, or oh, that's such and such, and um, it's fantastic, Stuart. I need to hook you up with my Apple TV, and
Yeah.
this is definitely one you need to check out because it's so great. I ended up seeing clips long time ago, and that's what really drove me because it just seemed so weird.
Yes.
Just so weird, but interesting weird. And like, there's like I said, it's Chicago, Sweeney Todd. There's a few other like
Hair,
there's
Annie,
and
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, because there's like a cult with like hippies and stuff like that, and some really weird, funny stuff that happens with that, and
It's like Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror. Yeah. It's so good. Like, I want there to be a season 3 too. Like, it's so bizarre, Stuart, but it's so bizarre in the best possible ways.
Oh, Alan Cummings is in it. I'm in then. I love Alan Cummings.
Yeah. I think he's the Sweeney Todd character.
Looking at this image, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in season 1. Okay. I know that.
There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of returns. Like Dove Cameron was in season 1 and is like vastly different in season 2, to where the point where like Keegan Michael Key's character doesn't necessarily recognize her right away. It has to be pointed out that, oh, that's such and such from Schmigadoon. It's got a pretty decent cast. There's also what's her name? From Kimmy Schmidt, the like rich lady that Kimmy worked for. She was also in I think 30 Rock. I never watched 30 Rock.
Oh,
but
Jane Kralinski.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in it and she plays like the lawyer, and there's a funny scene where she's visiting because Keegan Michael Key's character gets arrested for murder because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and she visits in jail, and all the other people in jail have a musical number where they help us get off, and it's a double entendre and stuff.
Okay.
And it's just it's such an amazing stupid show. Like, it's stupid. I'm not going to say it's not stupid, but it's stupid on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like the first opening act when they're singing about Chicago is just like, what even is this? Like, did they really just change Schmigadoon to Chicago? Like,
This is very different.
That was the trailer.
yeah, it's just, it's so good. I love it so much. Um, yeah, Jane Krasinski, and then there's Alan Cumming's pretty good in it. Who's the is it Martin Short? He's this magical leprechaun.
Oh, Martin Short.
From both in both seasons. He's this little